Okay, this is the second round of the test review, and I'm just trying to make sure that you're all ready for your test. Please watch this carefully. Okay, a square garden is 18 feet on each side, so that means this is 18, and this is 18. These two sides are equal, so this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which means if you want this diagonal pathway right here, you just take the length of the side and multiply it. That should be an 8. Multiply it by the square root of 2. So we have 18 times the square root of 2. And when you plug that into your calculator, 18 times the square root of 2, you get 25.40, 25.46. It says round to the nearest tenth, so that's 25.5. Okay, tangent. Tangent is always, we're talking about TOA here, so we've got OA. It's opposite over adjacent, which makes this D. Sine is always the opposite over the hypotenuse, so this is going to be C. And cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which that's answer B. Okay, and I'm going to do the first couple right here, 16, 17, and 18, because I'm talking about angle A here. I want the sine of A. The sine is the opposite, which is 20, over my hypotenuse, which is across from the right angle, which is 25. And I'm going to reduce that. I'm going to divide both of them by 5, and I'll end up getting 4 over 5. This is going to be my answer because it wants it in simplest form. The cosine of A. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent side of angle A is 15. So I have 15 over my hypotenuse, which is 25. If I divide both of them by 5, I get 3 over 5. So my cosine is 3 over 5. And my tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, my opposite side is 20. My adjacent side is 15. If I divide both of them by 5, I get 4 over 3. So my tangent is 4 over 3. Now for the next few problems, I'm dealing with angle C. Okay, so here's my angle C. This is the opposite, and this one's right next to it. This is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. Okay, the sine of C is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse, which is going to give me 15 over 25. Divide both sides by 5, I get 3 over 5. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent side is 20. The hypotenuse is 25. If I divide both of them by 5, I get 4 over 5. And my tangent is my opposite over adjacent. My opposite is 15. My adjacent is 20. Divide both of them by 5, and I get 3 over 4. Alright, find x and y to the nearest tenth. Let's see. I've got this angle. This is opposite, and this is hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse is sine, so I'm going to say sine 71 equals the opposite, which I don't know, over my hypotenuse, which is 15. The number's on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply 15 times the sine of 71. When I plug that into my calculator, 15 sine 71. Notice I do not use the second button. I get 14.18. Okay, now I hope you got that down because I'm going to have to erase a little in order to have room to write here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this for you. I'm going to write this in blue. Okay, I want the adjacent side. Oop, I haven't switched over to pen. I want the adjacent side because I want my y, and I still have my hypotenuse. So I'm going to use cosine because that uses adjacent and hypotenuse. Cosine of 71 equals my adjacent, which I don't know, over my hypotenuse, which is 15. Okay, and because this number's on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and say 15 times the cosine of 17, or 71, sorry, 71. 15 cosine 71 equals 4.88. Alright, now I have this angle here. Moving on to the next problem. This is 28. I have the opposite. This is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. I have the opposite. I want the hypotenuse, so I'm going to use sine of 28 equals the opposite, which I have 7, over my hypotenuse, which I don't know. Okay, if you're missing the number on bottom, you're going to divide. So I'm going to take 7 and divide it by the sine of 28. When I put that in my calculator, I write 7 divided by sine 28, and I get 14.9. Okay, so that is my answer, 14.9. Now I'm going to do some erasing again to give us a little bit of room here. Alright, back to pen. Now I want my adjacent. I need my adjacent, I have my opposite, so that's tangent. So I'm going to have the tangent of 28 equals opposite, which is 7, over adjacent, which is I don't know. Again, I don't have a number on the bottom, so I'm going to divide. 7 divided by the tangent of 28. Plug it in my calculator. 7 divided by tan 28 equals 13.2. I'm rounding to the nearest tenth. Okay, let's see. Is the next page? Yes, here we go. Alright, this time I don't have my angle, and so I'm looking for my angle, but I do have my adjacent and my hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine, so I can say the cosine of x equals adjacent, which is 72, over hypotenuse, which is 75. When I plug these in, when I don't have the angle, I have to do the second button. So I'm going to push second, cosine 72 divided by 75 equals 16.26. 16.26. Okay, and now I want angle y. Let's see, I have the opposite and the hypotenuse, so I'm going to use the sine of y equals 72 over 75. Again, I'm missing my angle, so I'm going to do second sine 72 divided by 75 equals, and I get 73.73. So this is 73.70. Actually, that would round up to 74. And if you add those two together, you would get 90 degrees. Alright, same over here. I have the opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to use the tangent of x. Tan x equals opposite, which is 5, over adjacent, which is 12. Okay, so I'm going to do second tangent 5 divided by 12. I get 22.6. And for angle y, this is my opposite this time, so the tangent of y equals 12 over my adjacent, which is 5. So second tan 12 divided by 5 equals 63.38. So that'd be about 63.4. Okay. Oh, nope, sorry, not 63, 67. I just checked my calculator. This is a 67. Okay, and finally, she's on a bus in France. She sees the arc at an angle of 33 degrees. This is 33. If the arc is 164 arch. How far away? So I want this. Okay. I want the adjacent. I have the opposite. Adjacent and opposite, that's tangent. So I have tan of 33 has to equal my opposite, which is 164, over my adjacent, which I'm looking for. I don't have the number on bottom, so I have to divide. 164 divided by the tangent of 33. 164 divided by tangent of 33 equals 252. And that is the end of that video.